Okay, let's pivot to my program. Michigan basketball had an open scrimmage over the weekend. Again, I did not go to this, but I've seen all the film on it. I had multiple people who attended the whole thing give me like deep breakdowns, voice notes on what they saw. I have compiled everybody's takeaways, and then I've watched all the film myself, and I have some takeaways. But this was structured not as like a 40-minute start the clock game setting, even though they invited fans in to watch it. They did a lot of 5-on-5, but it was very situational. They tried to do some like end of game simulation stuff. It went horrible. It went worse than last year. Did not inspire any confidence for me there. Outside of that, it was some live ball 5-on-5, but again, just very choppy is how I would describe it. It was never a second where this felt like a game. Trey Jackson, very good. Pretty much across the board, everybody's takeaway, including mine once I watched all the footage, was Trey looked like the best offensive player in the gym. You can do, is that good or bad for Michigan? I think I would lean that's very, very bad, but he definitely did things in this setting that I've never seen him do before from all the film that I have seen. I'm talking like catching a triple threat, one dribble pull-ups to his right. The shot looks super smooth, both off the dribble and off a catch and shoot. His makes barely touched the net. He had a couple like on the move catch and dunks. Just in general, he looks like he's Michigan's best wing, pretty much without question. I alluded to it last week. Terrence Williams has a new shot that checks out. He didn't look like a different guy outside of that, but like he's not, you don't have to worry about his shot guy anymore. His shot looks really good. He made shots in this setting again, and it's a totally different form than it's been his whole career. So he definitely redid his shot. Doug and Kamwa were extremely quiet. A couple people tallied like points in this, which I don't even think is fair, so I'm not going to read it on the show. But Doug and Kamwa were near the bottom of the list.
Can you read it just for my my knowledge?
I can, but it's like it wasn't structured like a game, and I don't even know if it's accurate.
Okay.
But what I had here, this is from a Twitter account called Quorum for Heisman. Trey Jackson 19 points, Terrace Reed 15 points, Terrence Williams 12 points, George Washington II 10 points, Yusuf Kayat 10 points, Namari Burnett 9 points. Doug McDaniel, 7 points. Will Shetter, 6 points. Olivier Kamwa, 5 points. This was the scoring leaders in both 12-minute scrimmages at the open practice. And what I will say, I have no idea how accurate that is or not. From the video footage I watched, that tracks with about what I would expect. Olivier and Doug were very non-involved compared to what I would expect. Trey Jackson was definitely the leading scorer of the event. So I'll throw it over to you. You got a face.
I got overreactions. I don't care if the situation was we're evacuating Chrysler while we finish our sets. Will Shetter outscored Olivier Kamwa?
Yeah.
I like to backtrack all previous episodes where I said that I have faith in this. You guys are cooked. You're cooked. I'm going to overreact. That's unacceptable. There's no way that makes you feel good. I know it's situational. I know that's I might need a DM Corum from Heisman and ask him to just verify where he got that information was, because there's no world where Shetter should be outscoring Kamwa.
Can I spin zone this for you based on what I saw with my eyes?
Is it going to be a George Washington and
nope.
yo spin?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I want to spin zone this. I think you'll actually endorse this spin zone.
Okay.
The largest reason Olivier was pretty non-existent offensively in this event was that Terrace Reed looks dominant defensively.
Okay.
And that like there was a lot of mismatched matchup stuff going on. Like it was never a consistent like guard your guy 20 minutes because that's how it was going. So that means like Trey Jackson, who looked great, had a mix of like Doug McDaniel and Terrence Williams and George Washington III and Yo-Yo guarding him. Like I would kind of hope he can eat against that group. Olivier Kamwa did not have a possession in this event that he was not guarded by Terrace Reed. It was very much a one-on-one Terrace Kamwa the entire time. Terrace Reed is dominant defensively. I have no other way to describe it for you other than like I think this guy genuinely has a chance at being the best defensive center in the country this year, other than like Klingon. He looks that good. He just completely took Olivier out of everything. And what I will say for Olivier is, one, I think he's going to operate much better as a 4 than a 5, and he's playing the 5 against Terrace in the setting. 2, he is just not wired as like a I'm going to go get mine guy. And I have said this all offseason long. If Michigan's going to actually surprise people positively, it can't be Olivier who is the guy who has to play that role because he's just not wired that way. He's not. He might have a game where he scores 20, 25. It's going to be off like open shots that end up in his hands, and he's a smart IQ guy, and he can shoot, he can score. He's not a every game 20-point guy. He never will be. He doesn't want to be that. That's the whole story of his career at Tennessee. So in order for Michigan to be good, they need Doug to be that, which is actually the more concerning one to me. If we're going to talk about guys who are low on the list scoring, Doug needs to score every single game if this team's going to be what it is. For me, I was really nervous when I saw that tweet. I watched the film. I'm genuinely not worried about Olivier's offense because Terrace he just destroyed him defensively.
How did Terrace's offense look? Like any moves?
Good, better.
Like hook, what are we talking? Like, did they throw it into him and he had a couple hook shots?
He had a couple very simple post moves. It wasn't anything like crazy, get out of his way, but he had hooks. He had some catch and dunks like in traffic. He looked really, really good. Like he's a it's mostly
body looking good too. Like
it's mostly physical with him. Like the way Terrace Reed dominates a game is he's just a physical presence, but that works, right? Like you can be a physical.
It's really nice to be a physical center and use your physicality to impose it on the other team. It must be really nice. I would enjoy that. That's good. That's good though that they weren't all catching dunks too, because you know how I get on these episodes all the time, and I literally talk about how you don't have to be Akeem in the post. You don't got to be Embiid. Just one simple go-to left, right hook. Like that's all you need just to keep the defense honest. But okay, that is good, especially towards your agenda going into the season as well. That like your main thing from the season is you want Terrace and Doug to grow and be good. And that looks like Doug probably will bounce. Doug will bounce back. But seeing Terrace do it against was Akamwa guarding him on the other end?
Yeah.
So he's doing it against a really good defense.
Yeah, I mean that's the spin zone here is like it was very much a one-on-one thing between Terrace and Olivier. Terrace was the better player across the board.
That's a good spin zone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it. Look, if this team's going to do anything, it's going to be elite defensively. And I can say very confidently an on-court core of Doug, Namari Burnett, Terrace Reed, and Kamwa should be elite defensively. Like that, I don't know how to ballpark it without seeing other defenses, but that's a team that to me should compete for being the best defensive basketball team in the Big Ten, depending on who the third guy is. So I like the makings of that. Offense still a big question mark, but it's good. It's good that, I mean, it's objectively great that Trey Jackson looks like he can do more than just catch and shoot because maybe he can. Maybe we'll see. Yeah. Namari looked a little uncomfortable. Like secondary ball handler is all he is. He's not going to be an on-ball bigger than that guy. He just won't be. But
does he have to be? Was he starting at the 2? Or was it starting? Like
he's going to be the starting 2 for sure. It just puts so much pressure on Doug, man. Like they're so thin in the backcourt. It's like, God forbid, I'd never want this to happen. Obviously, God forbid, what happens if Doug McDaniel misses a game?
Yeah. Wouldn't you realistically want Damari at the 3? Realistically, like if you're picking the lineup?
Realistically, we would want Caleb Love starting at the 2, Namari at the 3. And if that man, dead ass, if the Caleb Love that showed up at Arizona's exhibition was on this Michigan team, you could talk me into top 25 in the country.
Wow.
And instead, here we are cutting up. Trey Jackson looked great. It's like, oh my God, man.
It's okay. I also can't let that. I love Terrace Reed and I love him defensively, but you really just try to slip in that he's the second best big defensively in the country.
I think he might be
better than Kalk.
I'm willing to stick on that. Okay, third.
Better than Kling. Okay, third. All right.
Kalk's the best defensively. Klingon, I'll give second.
Okay.
But I think I think Terrace could be better than Cliff defensively this year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. He has the potential to be. I can go back and look in our text messages, and I think the very first thing I said is I can't believe. Middle of last season, I think I said I can't believe Terrace moves his feet this well.
Yeah, the very first thing you said was that he's St. Louis Eddie Curry. And then the very second thing you said was that he's one more skyline chili away from being unplayable. So, like, you've come a long way if you're acting like you've been praising Terrace Reed for years.
Okay, those texts were sent in a fury of rage after he picked your school over mine.
If Madi Sissoko and Terrace Reed played one-on-one for 100 possessions, and it's just Madi on offense, 100 possessions, Terrace Reed on defense, 100 consecutive possessions, Madi would not score once.
I don't think the game would finish.
Just want to say that once. All right. Can we do the same thing we did with Illinois, like a stock up, stock down for Michigan? Give me a name. Stock up, stock down.
I'll do stock up on Terrace. I'll do stock down on. I don't want to say, but I will say I'm disappointed. Stock down on Doug because I'm disappointed.
Okay. I know I argued the spin zone for it. I'm going to stock down Olivier. Just anyone who thinks he's a first option on a good team, kill it. He's not that. He's a second option on a good team. Stock up should be Terrace, but I want to be different than you. So I'm going to say Yo-Yo Kai at cart.
Wow. Yeah, what last thing, what was was Yo-Yo just knockdown shooter in this?
Yeah, he's a gunner, but
I might have to have you send me these clips too. I'd like to watch.
Yusuf got a ton of shots up in this, like just if he catches the ball open, he's shooting. And there was never a moment where anybody's like, hey, cut that. So I think like the team wants him to shoot, which is good. His shot looked pretty good. Like his shot looked okay last year, to be honest, too. He made shots. He just didn't do anything else. He's still a little bit confused defensively, but he looked way more like a rotation guy, just at his bodily movements and doing things beyond just catching and shooting. I think there's a non-zero chance Yusuf Kayet does break out this season into like maybe he starts for this team. Not going to say like I'm predicting that, but like we've seen a lot of Michigan guys go from nothing to year two. They're very good. I think Yusuf is back on green light on that path for me.
Okay. So when's Michigan's first exhibition? Because they don't have like a Midnight Madness, do they?
No, I actually don't know because I'm not looking at Michigan's schedule once this year.
You're not, no chance?
No, I'm just not.
Okay.
I want to be like, I want someone to text me like, oh, Michigan plays tonight. I'm like, oh, I guess maybe I'll flip that on.
I'll let you know. I'll look at the schedule.
Okay, thanks. It is what it is. One big thing presented by Big B. You got anything today?
Yeah, I do. Any hotel that has like those censored snack bars can go to hell. That's stupid.
Man,
like what if I'm recording this episode right now and I'm sitting next to like the censored mini bar. What if I knocked over this Evian on accident? I'm paying for that? That's bullshit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have nothing to add to that. I think you're right.
And I don't want to stay at any hotel that doesn't have free continental breakfast with the waffle maker.
Okay, now we're getting a little more aggressive with this. I'm not a big hotel breakfast guy. I know you are from experience with you. I'm not.
I've been with you in a hotel and I've seen you, like we were at a Country Inn Suites and you had biscuits and gravy and it was phenomenal.
I've never had biscuits and gravy in my life anywhere. I don't know who you're mistaking me for. Do you go gallivanting around the Midwest with another white man? Are you cheating on me?
No, no, I'm not.
I don't like.
I can promise you that.
I did. I stayed at a hotel with my pops in East Lansing this weekend, and it felt like college hoops to go again. And I did get a blueberry muffin from the continental breakfast. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Just horrible. My one big thing presented by Big B is I want to take blame where blame is deserved, and it's my fault. It's my fault the Detroit Lions got just smacked by the Baltimore Ravens. This also kind of comes from that boy D Hill, aka Deion Hill Ford, who's come on the show a couple times. He has a take that it's the media that did this to the Lions. I'm actually willing to entertain that take, but more importantly, I'm willing to own my role in that take because I am the media. Contrary to popular belief, Cart, I am media. We are media. And I want to own responsibility. We've come on this program and said they're the best team in the NFL. A little ahead of ourselves there. I've come on this program and acted like I can just go wherever I want during a game and the Lions will win the game. Not the case. I got to remember the humble beginnings we came from. The Lions are 5-0 this season when I am seated on my couch in my living room and my wife is present, and that's the plan. If that's what I'm doing on a Sunday, the Lions are undefeated. I anticipate that will be the case going forward. The 2 games we lost, my wife left at halftime. We blew a halftime lead. And this one, we had the audacity to think we could go get bottomless mimosas at a bar. Like, you think I can show up to a bar at 12:30 p.m., just act like I'm going to waltz into Baltimore and get a win? Not a chance. Ridiculous of me to think that, and I'll own that. That's on me. I'm going to spend this entire week getting back to my roots and making sure we get to 6-2 on Sunday.
We play a Monday night, and it's on me as well. I will be in the house. I will be there.
Yeah. Got to do our job. That's who we are.
Got to do our job. We cannot get complacent.
Blue Collar Podcast. Honolulu Blue Collar Podcast. Cart, I've enjoyed you making this work from 7 different states on the West Coast over the last 2.5 weeks. Incredible stuff. You'll be back home tomorrow, correct?
Yes, I will. Well, I'll be home tomorrow, but I'll be recording on the West Coast for the very last time. But Wednesday morning, you will see this face at the desk with the wife's paintings in the background and the headband set and my ring light and all that. It'll be back on Wednesday.
Can't wait to see that glow, baby. All right. Have a great Monday, everybody. Join the Discord if you want to join the College Basketball Fantasy League. Tonight is the one night to do so. We'll be back on Tuesday. Goodbye.